Mojang has recently been working on some really interesting additions, such as the Trial Chambers and the Pale Garden biome. The thing is, Minecraft still has huge potential to be explored. Updates like Village and Pillage, Caves and Cliffs, and the Nether update brought back the game's hype in a massive way. Today we'll explore the community's most exciting ideas for 1.22 and future updates. First, the End update. Let's start with the obvious, the End. This biome should be the grand finale of the Minecraft experience, being the peak of exploration and the ultimate challenge for those who have spent hours building, mining, and surviving. But the reality is that the End is more like a draft than a complete biome. It's just a collection of floating islands with purple blocks, a few endermen wandering around, and loot that honestly is already outdated. The End has remained unchanged and abandoned since the 1.9 update in 2016. Imagine what it would be like if the End had distinct biomes, crystal forests that glow in the dark, obsidian plains with wavy columns, or even floating oceans of a purple liquid that could be collected for special potions. Each biome could have its own mobs, like smaller, tameable dragons that fly by your side or ethereal creatures that only appear when you use a specific potion. It's worth noting that this concept isn't far-fetched, as Minecraft Dungeons, a game that often shares ideas with Minecraft Java, features distinct structures, mobs, and biomes in the End Dimension through a specific downloadable content focused solely on this realm. Since we're dreaming, how about a complete update to the Ender Dragon? He could gain new phases, complex attacks, and the ability to summon mobs to assist him. After defeating him, we want a super boss as challenging as Arden. For those who enjoy complex battles, the game doesn't offer that anymore since it gets easier every year. Even the Ender Dragon, supposedly the final boss, has long been easily defeated, but Leo Zhao, you've never beaten him. Alright, I know I've never played survival until I killed the Ender Dragon, I've never finished the game, but it would be cool to have one more boss. And last but not least, Mojang could update the Elytra. Just having some kind of different customization or the possibility to enchant it with something new would already be enough. Number 2. Mob Vote Update. Forget pigs, cows, and chickens. Let's talk about a fascinating animal, the capybara. Who here has ever dreamed of a capybara in Minecraft? Comment the number 7 down below because it would definitely be a great addition. If I'm not mistaken, they even made a petition to have a capybara in Minecraft, so it's a mob that's really loved by everyone. But still talking about what we already have, it's worth remembering that in some past mob votes, we actually had some mobs theoretically confirmed, like the ostrich and the meerkat. Mojang's promise was that even if the mobs weren't chosen in their respective mob votes, they would be added in the future. There's a long list of discarded mob vote ideas that would be interesting for Minecraft. Since they're already adding some, why not include crocodiles and bears as well? And looking up, I don't know about you, but I see the ceiling of my house. However, in our beloved blocky game, the sky is completely empty. We definitely need more birds to bring some atmosphere to the sky in our game. Number 3. Aether Update. And it's time to talk about the white elephant in the room, the new dimensions. Minecraft encourages exploration, making it almost criminal that there are only 2 truly playable dimensions, the Nether and the End. Creating new dimensions is a perfect opportunity to hide the game's narrative and offer unique challenges. One of the most requested community suggestions is a celestial portal called the Aether. Many have tried building a portal with glowstone. The first disappointment, we never forget, fooled us more than the brunette. This dimension could be a stunning visual paradise with floating landscapes, luminous rivers, and an endless starry sky. Besides, of course, exclusive blocks like shining crystals and minerals that emit particles could be used both for decoration and to create new tools or special items. And of course, new dimensions need unique mobs. The Celestial Portal contains peaceful creatures like winged servants that aid exploration and hostile creatures with magical abilities that challenge players. Another thing would also be the fascinating concept of altered gravity. Picture traversing platforms with varying gravity or floating to navigate certain areas. If they wanted to, the folks at Mojang could just do a Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V on the Aether mode itself and no one would be dissatisfied. In 2025, the Minecraft movie will likely explore the game's lore, so it wouldn't be absurd for them to take something mainstream and bring it into our gameplay. And with that, I open the door to talk about the Ancient Cities portal. In the Deep Dark biome, there's a portal-like structure with lore about ancient cities, providing an opportunity to greatly expand our game. Number 4. Exploration. Man, how can the desert and the savannah be such empty biomes? The game has an interesting variety of biomes and even dungeons, but let's be honest, they're already completely forgotten. The Dark Forest Mansion itself, when it was added, was something really interesting that brought a lot of variety to the game, but nowadays it's become more than common. The ally, who was supposed to be an interesting guy, is practically useless. Can we work more on this, Mojang? Imagine reaching the top of a mountain and finding abandoned cabins with hidden stories in books or treasure maps. And how about snowstorms that limit your vision and force you to look for shelter? These storms could come with a new freezing effect that slows you down and causes damage over time, unless you're wearing leather armor to keep you warm. And why not, in the middle of all this, find Jenny Mod's house? Well, Minecraft Sex Update, it's time for you to arrive. Just kidding, guys. While the game attracts many children, there's no place for that content. However, we're only discussing minor hints. Penguins would be an obvious addition, but we could consider more challenging creatures like a yeti. They would be a rare and neutral mob that would only attack if you got close to their babies. Imagine finding icebergs with frozen caves filled with loot and powerful mobs like frozen skeletons that shoot arrows inflicting slowness. And let's not forget about the environment. Accumulated snow that covers everything realistically, ice crystals that can be used in buildings or potions, and even northern lights that appear at night, turning the sky into a spectacle. A spectacle like Super Lao Sao. Follow me on Instagram at imine77. But why not also discuss the forests with fallen logs, accumulated leaves, and gigantic trees creating a natural canopy that would make a huge difference? For instance, in his own automated home, Vinicius created a fascinating Zelda-inspired village in the jungle, with visuals that would be great to see in the actual game. Number 5. The Industrial Update. A very important point is that the game is still not optimized enough. With each update, Minecraft becomes more resource-intensive, causing performance issues for those with low-end PCs. I believe there must be a solution, as Minecraft Bedrock Edition is significantly more optimized than Java Edition. Mojang, it's time to find a way to organize our items. Let's get to work. Our inventory is getting more and more cluttered with the variety of items that have been added with each update over more than 13 years. Imagine how magical an automatic item organization button would be. That would be a dream as grand as Vinicius Trez's automatic brunette farm. Imagine typing wood and instantly seeing where all the types of wood you have stored are, instead of having to search through every chest. No, life isn't a bed of roses. It can be an expensive machine that you have to craft after hours and hours of gameplay, not something simple or cheap. I'm referring to the recently added bundles that need some additional refinement, not your former partner. How about allowing those bundles to be customizable with specific categories? A construction materials bundle could automatically accept stone blocks, wood, and sand, while another would only accept food items. That would make resource management a much smoother task. And now, speaking of world improvements, since farms still rely on a tedious manual system, it would be amazing to use an automatic harvesting system that replants seeds when you right-click on a cultivated area. Not only would it save time, but it would also be an industrial upgrade, unlocking possibilities for numerous mechanics and machines. And why not talk about redstone? Man, something that would be equivalent to the invention of the wheel, something that would be equivalent to the discovery of fire, would simply be being able to put redstone on the wall. This idea originated from Minecraft Alpha, where functional gears were planned to work like redstone. Simple changes to this item's mechanics would already bring huge automation. It's already past time for us to have a vertical slab when it comes to building. Imagine mixing slabs of different types like wood and stone. It would open up endless combinations and decorations. And as for glass, we urgently need visually connected glass without those dividing lines that ruin the look of any modern window and are almost a war crime. Another interesting idea would be to expand the combat and exploration mechanics. Why not add more utility to shields? They could be customizable both in appearance and function, like absorbing certain types of damage more efficiently. Last but not least, we need to talk about a prototype mode. This system would allow you to plan large builds and place ghost projections of blocks in the world, showing exactly where each block should be placed. And this would be especially useful for complex or collaborative builds. The game itself in creative mode already has a specific block just for schematics, but if somehow this could be adapted for survival, it would be simply amazing. Number 6. Dungeons Update. And speaking of functionality, let's go back to something that all players, regardless of their playstyle, would love: improvements to existing structures. Because let's be honest, finding unique things in the world is one of the best parts of Minecraft. For example, the villages in the game, although beautiful, could be much more interesting. Imagine finding villages with specific cultures, like a desert village that grows cacti or uses camels for transportation. Or even villages hidden in the mountains where the houses are carved directly into the rock and connected by wooden bridges. Minecraft has shown it's ideal for environmental storytelling, but many structures are too simplistic. For example, the desert pyramids, they're pretty much just sandboxes with a single chest in the center. I know Minecraft players are like cats, but sandboxes aren't necessary in the game. Why not turn them into mazes filled with traps and secrets? These new pyramids could have multiple levels, like puzzles that require logic or redstone knowledge to solve. Speaking of puzzles, my friends, does anyone here follow any puzzle maps? Back in 2014, 2016 Minecraft YouTubers like Resende, Jazzgo, and Edukov frequently played puzzle maps, but now these maps have been largely forgotten. But anyway, moving on, the loot could be something more varied, including exclusive artifacts or even pieces of maps that lead to even greater treasures. Abandoned mines deserve more attention. While already interesting, they could be made even more immersive. Imagine finding working minecarts with tracks that lead to secret areas, mobs that appear in these environments like ghost miners defending the riches of the place, and much more. These mobs could be defeated to drop rare items like enchanted pickaxes or exclusive ores. Have you ever imagined abandoned ships in underwater caves? These locations might have aquatic mobs, but may also hold rare items such as treasure maps or exclusive materials. The stronghold, crucial for endgame, desperately needs a revamp. How can such an important place have such empty rooms and so many repetitive corridors? They could add libraries, alchemy labs, and even secret areas where you can find new items or rare enchanted books. Trust Mojang, you won't regret it. Number 7. Sex update. Alright, I admit it, you got me. I said we couldn't have this in a game that's basically for kids, but we have to admit that a mod like Come Alive would be really interesting, so just like Kimberry, we could go after Authentic's girlfriend. Jokes aside, I don't think so. Honestly, human NPCs, like in The Sims, I don't think that really fits anymore. On the other hand, biome bosses would make more sense. Imagine each biome having a unique boss with special abilities, appearing rarely in remarkable places like structures or themed areas. The Yeti, a potential boss in the mountains, could be a neutral mob until provoked by invading its territory or threatening its offspring. During combat, the Yeti could use impact abilities that cause earthquakes, knocking the player down or pushing them toward dangerous edges. Defeating this mob would give exclusive items like a hide resistant to cold or a hammer that can create shockwaves. In the desert, the mummy would be the star, discovered in restored pyramids, guarded by traps and hordes of skeletons. Its main attack could be a curse that temporarily reduces the player's attributes, like speed or strength. And the oceans also have room for bosses. Imagine a kraken that appears in specific locations in the deep ocean, and this boss would use its tentacles to pull players into the water or destroy boats. It can be defeated in multiple stages by attacking various body parts to bring it down. And the reward could include an item that lets you breathe underwater for longer or rare material to craft underwater tools. And finally, the forest could be home to the Guardian of the Trees, a creature made of wood and vines. He would be a formidable foe, using the environment to his advantage by summoning roots to trap the player and launching thorns. And these biome bosses would not only make each biome more interesting, but also encourage players to explore more of the world and face specific challenges. Number 8. Seasons and weather events. A Mojang developer replied to a player on Twitter with emojis representing the seasons, suggesting this idea is no longer far-fetched. Since the community has been suggesting this for years, it's clearly not hard to imagine it being in the game. In winter, snow would blanket the world across all biomes, presenting unique challenges such as frozen rivers that crack underfoot. In autumn, falling leaves from trees pile up on the ground, creating a stunning atmosphere. In spring, special flowers could appear, bringing new farming mechanics. And in summer, more frequent storms could even cause forest fires if not controlled. And consequently, this opens the door for weather events like sandstorms and hurricanes. Anyway, our point is that there are endless ways to innovate in Minecraft and break the reputation the game has for becoming more and more boring. The sky's the limit. Follow me on Instagram, IEmean77.